Well, Merry Christmas. Just got back from church and it was unexpectedly. Well, no, I expected it to be good, but it was good. It was really good. Even with my kids dumping out all the pens and their books and stuff out of the baby bag, it all went very well. And that's not due to any kind of exceptional abilities or it was a Christmas musical program, so very good. Primary kids got up, everything. Again, it wasn't good because it was exceptional talent. It was good because it brought in the spirit. And that's not to say that people aren't talented or anything. I mean, there's a couple times when things are the timing or the chorus is just all skewed, but I wouldn't know the word for it because I can't sing myself as much as I've tried. I've joined every choir I've been in and or in every ward. I did show choir in high school, and for some reason they allowed me to do that. I don't know how I passed any of that. Maybe they're short on guys, but it brought in the spirit a lot. There's one particular brother who he actually had exceptional talent, and he sang a song, and I just couldn't stop looking at him. I couldn't stop looking beyond him to just picturing the Savior the entire time. And my kids calmed down for this. Everything went still, and it was just gorgeous. Like, I wanted to get up and go give that brother a big hug and just tell him thank you for that. And I had no idea that he had a voice like that. And I'm just grateful that he shares it. But it really brought in that whole feeling. Like, I mean, having young kids, things get a little bit hectic, but then, when the spirit comes in, when it really settles in and brings in some peace, even with the kids going nuts so crazy. And my kids are actually pretty good. I'm probably a little too critical. Just because I personally am easily distracted. So they're actually very, very good compared to how I was as a kid. But it was a beautiful program. Children sang. There was a young man who got up and sang. Remember when I taught him in Sunday school, and he was always one of the good students, not one of the ones that was purposely obnoxious and trying to rustle feathers in class. That was me as a kid. I don't even know how I turned out the way I am. But gosh, if I turned out okay, I guess there's hope for everybody. But this young man, he had some really good lungs, some good pipes on him, and I felt the spirit when he sang too. And when I say I felt the spirit, I just feel like it brought to my mind events and things in the life of Christ and things in my own life. So a lot of people, I have a brother, he's like, yeah, it's all a psychological thing and you get dopamine release, all that stuff, but to me it's more than that. It's of where my focus goes. My focus goes to me holding my child and looking at him and imagining how Mary and Joseph felt. Made me look at him when he's like poking me in the face and poking his fingers in my ears, and me just like taking it and thinking, I wonder if that's the capacity that Christ had, that he, though being mortal, had disciplined himself and learned line upon line and precept on precept at an early age, and had been strengthened and still fasted and prayed for greater strength. And I wonder, all these stripes he took for us, it's like when my son is hitting me, poking me, it's annoying. Sometimes it hurts, but I don't stop loving him. And I think that was the first time I ever thought of Christ in that form or fashion, is looking at us like truly like there's nothing we could do that would make him not love us. Not love us enough to go through the atonement. Here, I got a blue spruce here. Here we have some of the resin or juices that come out when branches are cut. I think, what is it? Is that how myrrh? Is that frankincense or myrrh that comes from a sap of a tree? That it's parts of these trees that are cut, and sap is allowed to come out and then harden, and that's harvested and used as a good incense. The fact that he was anointed with that, given it by the wise men, kind of foreshadows the stripes he would take for us. And still come out smelling pretty, right? No. And I wish, maybe this is something I can work on this next year. There's a lot of people I love and a lot of people I appreciate. And I have a hard time telling people that or expressing that. It's kind of like Michael Scott from The Office. Oh, she's wonderful and she's exceptionally talented, but I'd never tell her to her face. Then you have Oscar say, why wouldn't you tell her to her face? I kind of feel like that, where there's people who have just these small little things that just shine about them, these spiritual gifts, and it's, to me, it makes everything about them beautiful, great, amazing. And it's like these little bits and elements in various people, these gifts of the Spirit that manifest through them. You get to see the Savior in a way through each of them. And I just appreciate that. I don't even know how to express it. I guess that's why we have the Spirit. The Spirit not being just some good feeling or some caloric heat in your chest, but it being a love and appreciation. It's feeling the Spirit directs my thoughts, mind, behavior, everything towards the Savior. It's where you learn absolute truth, even in the small. We get that in small degrees. We don't have all the pieces yet. I often wonder. I have a brother who questions a lot of stuff about the church. He has good, legitimate questions, things that I don't have questions about or anything, but I can understand where he's coming from. And just realize that a lot of the stuff that he struggles with is simply due to a lack of understanding what the Spirit is, how it functions, what the gospel is. That if all the truth were manifested and given into his hands at this point right now, of every little detail from the beginning to the end, and even if Christ himself manifested, it wouldn't be enough. And I asked him that. He said, yeah. Like, is it because you'd start guessing if you're hallucinating? You'd start guessing if maybe it's an alien, or if it's a new tech or something that is trying to trick you. He's like, exactly. I'm like, that is such... The things he fears, there's legitimate things that he is concerned and fears, but he fears it coming from the wrong sources, then holds closer to the sources that causes the fear, in my opinion. And I think, like, why didn't all the details, nitty-gritty, everything of how everything works come out with Joseph Smith? Well, if everything came out back then, it was true, it wouldn't be accepted. It would be accepted just the same as it was. Like, proof. If everything was proven true back then, it wouldn't be true today. Because what we knew back then is not the same as what we know today. And it breaks my heart to see when, simply because we understand how something functions, how something works, simply because our horizon is brighter and we can see more things, we then rule it out as being something that's miraculous or divine. To me, miracles are a fulfillment of a higher law. And that higher law is spiritually based, like all things are. But it's just hard when people go, well, it's not that, it's because of this, this, and this. Well, even that explanation, though it satisfies our mind in explanation these days, it's still only a fragment, a portion, and incomplete. I don't even know if I'm making any sense, but I feel like the way the Spirit works is we're told to study from the best books to gain an education. Well, why is that, Johnny? Is that because they want us to follow the state and do all that stuff and get an education and just fall in line and listen to lobbyists. No. It's because if we have a spiritual foundation, understanding the scriptures, we're able to discern truth from not truth. As we pursue further truth, we gain all that intelligence in books and in our studies. We can explore and expound on truth, complete more puzzle pieces, get a bigger picture. But at the same time, when we minister to one another, if we're lacking in well, here, this is something I wrote before the mission, and to try and help me explain things to kids. And it was, I feel like all of us have experiences in our life which shape us and mold us into the keys that would unlock the understanding of the hearts of the people around us. Sometimes you may reach this person. Sometimes you may reach this person. Well, if my key doesn't work, I'm certainly going to find the one who does have the key that works. And then when we have that key and it fits, we got to turn it. We gotta open up. We gotta bear testimony. We have to share, love, invite, and share. And I feel like the broader your knowledge and understanding, the broader application the Spirit has to pull from your mind of things which you've already learned, and bring it to your remembrance and put it right in place where it needs to go. And fill your mouth and fill your direction with what you're talking about to those who need to hear it. I think this is why a lot of people at General Conference, they go, well, prophets aren't prophesying anymore. And I'm like, wait, hold up. Wait a second. What are you talking about? Are we watching the same conference? Are you listening? Are you reading those footnotes? To me, the hard part is keeping track of everything. I feel like I have a lower education, and so I don't articulate myself as well. So I try really hard to study more and more and more to be able to articulate better to a wider range of people. Now, that doesn't include other languages so far. I haven't learned any other languages. Heck, I served in Utah and Idaho in my mission, and then somehow ended up back here. It was the last place I wanted to go. And here I am. And I am not going to fight it. I'm going to do what I can where I can. Obviously, there's more that I can learn. There's some people out here who lived out here a long time ago, and they raise cows out in this county. It's known for its cattle, and one farmer had his boys taking care of the cows and said, look, you guys, I've given you instruction, showed you how to do this growing up. These cows are now in your charge. All right. His neighbor comes over, says, brother so-and-so, your cattle are, have you seen what your boys are doing with that cattle? It's not proper, it's not right. It's not best for the cattle. So the man says, well, I'm raising sons, not cattle. And I thought, it's those little things that I need to put more into perspective and apply to my life, and realize we're raising children. We're raising children of God. We have to do our best to be as loving and forgiving so they know to do that themselves to others, and that they'll be receptive to the Spirit and to the Savior. I just hope that my weakness in my nurturing will be compensated by their eternal and spiritual nature of themselves. That see all kinds of people who I think are just excellent at everything they do, and I just go, wow, I never would have thought of that. And I wondered how much are my kids missing out on because I didn't know to do something at the proper time to educate them in a certain thing. And so here, I'm just hoping that the nature of who they truly are compensates for the lack in my my current ability to nurture properly or best. I don't know. Maybe it is best. I know that all things work out. I've been to hell and back so many times I got frequent flyer miles. So I know when things fall apart, and they often have. I mean, I've been homeless. I've been beaten on the streets when I was 19. I woke up getting the crap beat out of me. I wasn't at a dinner on my birthday and signing mission papers and doing any of that. I just hope that that's not what it takes, you know. Saw so many people in my youth that I thought were just amazing at everything they did. They knew the scriptures extremely well, and these were the best of friends. They knew how to treat other people kindly and not socially awkward or anything like that. They just fit in and did well with everything. And it's sad to see them all inactive. It's sad to see so many that I grew up with, even people I was in the singles ward with. It's like there was a mass exodus while I was on my mission. It's ridiculous. It's just, we're not in the same world we grew up in. So, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas and hope that you felt the Spirit today at church, and that you had some experiences for you to cherish and hold on to. And for Jared, over on Christian Homestead, the second coming did not happen yet. But if we want to be in his presence, we can always go to the temple. So we're not lacking that. We can prepare ourselves by going there. And if he came today and showed himself, my level of belief in him would not be any different. Probably, I mean, like saying something like that. But I know that Jesus Christ is our Savior. He's resurrected. He lives. That he restored his church. And that we're led by prophets and apostles as key holders. You know that things happen in a very natural way. And often the way we imagine and expect things to happen are not the way that they actually do happen. I think that's the huge significance that President Nelson has been emphasizing, is that we increase our ability to discern, that we increase our spiritual capacity and learn the nature and character of Christ, to learn of Him. Because He could be among any group of people, and if they don't have the spiritual eyes to see, how will they ever see? If we don't have the spiritual eyes to see, what good is seeing it physically? It would serve no purpose. And perhaps that's why so many of the Jews missed the mark. It's funny because Jared talks about the same stuff I'm studying, except he articulates it so much better than I do. So, if you guys want something uplifting, check out Christian Homestead's channel. Also, Messages of Christ. It's a very good one. There's all kinds that are just great channels and great for learning and inviting the Spirit. So, have a good day. Merry Christmas.